Smokin Gunz podcast. Philip Higginbotham, Leo Yamas, R.C. Woods, hanging out and talking football with a Super Bowl MVP, a legend, a guy that should be in the Hall of Fame if we're honest. And above all of that, beyond all of that, he's also a Dancing with the Stars champion. Like,
yes, he
he's
is.
got it all. But the most important thing for us is he is the new head coach of the new San Antonio Brahmas of the XFL. Coach Hines Ward, thanks so much for joining us for a few minutes. We couldn't be more excited to talk with you.
Honored and blessed.
Welcome. Yeah, I'm excited to be on. Happy to be on. Proud to, have the support of San Antonio, the fans, and everybody. Looking forward to it. Let's get started.
All right, Leo, you got a question for him?
Yeah, just to get started off. So, you were back here in San Antonio back in the days when we had the other league coming over here, the Alliance. And it was basically, we're just wondering, from your time here, what you saw, how much of that experience affected your decision to be the head coach here in San Antonio? I mean, was that part of the process? Was there a decision where you chosen? Were you banging the table and said, I want to be in San Antonio? Because, something was leaked several months ago about another guy who's a head coach in the XFL.
Reggie.
Reggie Barlow. Was saying, hey, I'm leaving my job at the university to become head coach of the San Antonio XFL franchise. And of course, when that hits social media, it's going to spread like wildfire here in San Antonio. So that was kind of maybe the expectation for a little while. And then we hear Hines Ward is the coach of the San Antonio franchise. And we're like, wow, this is awesome. But yeah, so talk a little bit about that. The process and you coming to San Antonio as a head coach.
Yeah. Well, I can't really, I wasn't there. I don't know about the Reggie Barlow thing. So that's why I'm not always believing everything you hear on social media and stuff. But it was presented to me, a couple cities that was presented to me that, I had an opportunity to coach. And I just remember my time in San Antonio, just walking down the Riverwalk, getting acclimated, walking to the Alamo, getting a little historical background about the city and things like that. And of course, the Spurs were, they embody what championship is all about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up loving Pop and Duncan and David Robinson and those guys, man. And, just being down there, me understanding how big the city is, a lot of people don't know San Antonio is probably one of the biggest cities in the country, but it still had a small town vibe to it.
Exactly.
And that's what I read. That's what resonated with me because it just reminded me so much of my time in Pittsburgh, where the city, the fans had a connection. They were very passionate about the sports team, very supportive about their sports team. And I understood some of the history going down in San Antonio with some of the other teams trying to start up a league and things like that. So it's almost like, you're teasing the fans of San Antonio of having a professional football team there. But I just remember my time being a part of the executive down with the AAF and just going out, riding the bus into the stadium and seeing all the tailgaters and fans and walking around the stadium. 32,000 fans, you don't realize that 30,000 fans in the Alamo Dome feels like 60,000 fans.
Yeah.
Very true.
That place got extremely loud, man. And I was like, man, they're so passionate about their fans. So when I saw that San Antonio was one of the places I wanted to go to, I just instantly, it just brought me back to the fond memories that I had of my time with the AAF, and I wanted to be a part of that. So I put my name in the hat. Next thing you know, I was the San Antonio head coach.
Nice.
So I was extremely happy, man, and just humble, one, to get an opportunity to be a head coach, which I know for so many guys who played a lot of years, you almost have to grind it out to kind of even get an opportunity to be a head coach. But all the things that I've learned during my time with Coach Cowher and Mike Tomlin, and kind of the culture that we had in Pittsburgh, the connection that the city had with the team, all of those things that I want to bring to San Antonio. I don't want to bring the terrible towel to San Antonio. I just want to bring my knowledge of the game. I tried to assemble a diversity staff, a very diverse staff, having some very experienced guys. I have some former head coaches. I have some former players who won Super Bowls, who knows what it takes to get to the pinnacle, and one who was great teachers of guys, like to be able to teach the game to our young players. So that's how I kind of looked at it and assembled my staff. And I felt like once I got the staff together, good character, high character guys, then it was kind of the first step in the process was then trying to create that culture. Part of me putting the staff together, it's kind of hard because, I don't know, the hub is going to be up in Arlington and we're only going to come down here on home games. So in my mind, I was like, well, how can I have a connection with the city of San Antonio while we're in Arlington? So a part of the reason why we met in San Antonio, I wanted our coaches to really walk around after we put some game plans in, start evaluating for the draft. I wanted us to really have that camaraderie out in San Antonio, to walk around, to all the fans, they recognize me. And of course, Dancing with the Stars, I'm probably more popular for Dancing with the Stars than I am football. I get it everywhere I go. I cannot hide from the Dancing with the Stars. But just the amount of support, just walking through the city and saw the excitement of fans of having football back in San Antonio was just an awesome feeling. And I wanted our coaches to really sense that, knowing that, it's not just about us and our opportunities to coach, but it's really about the connection with these fans, how passionate they are about their sports team. And like I said, I mean, I embraced the pressure to put on a great product. That's, I live for pressure, so I'm super excited, extremely blessed, extremely humbled at the opportunity, but I'm excited to be in San Antonio and to be the head coach of the Brahmas.
So on this, you were involved with the AAF. You were director of football operations for the league. So you were involved on that kind of executive level. So you've seen this sort of spring football model before. And unfortunately, we saw that collapse. And there are folks here in San Antonio that look at the XFL 3.0 and are nervous about getting involved with this because of what happened to them with the Commanders. How is this different? What do you see? You're in this unique position where you've been connected to both of these leagues. What do you see that makes this different?
I think for me, the difference is the leadership from top. I think Dwayne Johnson brings an element that I don't think we had at AF. I mean, we had the credibility, with some marquee names, the guys who've been in the NFL for so many years, guys like Bill Polian and things like that. But we didn't have a leader like The Rock. I mean, when you have over 1 billion followers almost, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty high. Any little thing that he does or touches, man, turns to gold. So the fact of what he's done in his career, his brand, and understanding kind of a little background of him being that 54th guy that didn't get that opportunity. I felt the passion from him and Miss Danny Garcia. And then, of course, you need capital, right? Redbird Capital. You got to have money to start. So it's kind of like, you check off the boxes as far as Miss Danny Garcia, her connections with all the television and things like that. Then you got a leader like The Rock, who has so many followers. Any little thing that he says makes $1 million a day almost. he could promote anything. And you have a group like Redbird Capital who kind of, and they understand that going into this thing, you're probably going to lose some money in the first 2 years, but looking to the big picture is being able to have longevity. And I just look back at XFL 2.0. It was a great product. Due to COVID is the reason why it didn't last as long. And so for us, it's try to just to learn the mistakes from 2.0, and hopefully, knock on wood, this COVID thing is kind of behind us a little bit, that we can, go throughout a whole season with no problems, and see what happens the following year. But there's no question that I think professional football in San Antonio is here to last, because I saw firsthand the fan support,
Yeah.
and I think that goes a long way. Now, I can't speak for other cities.
Right.
I know St. Louis is very passionate. They got a huge fan base, but I can't speak amongst other cities and how they support their team. But I know firsthand. I saw it with my own eyes how the city of San Antonio supported their football team, and I wanted to be a part of that.
So this will be
Awesome.
your first stint as a head coach anywhere. You've done some coaching, but this will be your first stint as a head coach. Who in your past, you've played this game all of your life, inspires you to be like them as a coach as you lead your men?
Of course, Coach Coward gave me my opportunity, Hall of Fame coach, and I'm not going to be spitting on guys like he spit on me back in the day when I get, when I'm intense out there. But you know what? I've been blessed to play with two great coaches. Mike Tomlin, he'll be a Hall of Famer coach too as well. They were one thing that stood out, man. They were just great leader of men. They held everybody accountable. They established that family culture within the building, and it made everybody feel good to be a part of it. And those are the things that I try to take, the head coaching traits of being a great leader, man. And when you get people that enjoy coming to work, that enjoys like putting in the grind with you, and not grinding them to the nub to where they don't see their families and things like that. I think you can have balance. I think you can coach at the highest level and still have a family life and still execute and win ball games. And the way the Coach Cower and Coach Tomlin, the way they treated the players, man, they were just very player friendly as far as understanding to take care of our bodies, because in Pittsburgh, it was championship or nothing. We weren't happy just to make the playoffs or have a winning record. Our whole mindset was we're going to win a championship every season that we went to training camp. And that's just the same mentality I have now. I'm in it to have that same. And I would assume that every team goes into, training camp saying that they want to win a championship. But if you don't have that mindset, I'm a firm believer, man, is, putting it in to existence, speaking it, then good things will happen. So having our players understand that from day one, for me, it's all about winning this championship and bringing a championship. How great would that be if we won the championship in San Antonio?
Maybe.
It would be
That's
incredible.
like
It's going to happen. So
yeah, it's like every morning I wake up and like that's like my passion. Like I would just love to bring a professional championship to the city of San Antonio. That would just be awesome. So
Sure would be.
that's just a mindset that I have. I each and every day I wake up, I'm telling you, that's the first thing that comes to mind. I can just picture it in my head. You know how people have their vision board, but that's my vision board each and every day, is to win this championship and do all that I can to make that happen. And now with the draft around the corner next week in Las Vegas, man, our coaches, everyone, we've just been working hard, just grinding, trying to find the players. And a lot of it's going to be determined, where we pick, who we pick. But at the same time, I think with the coaching staff and the hard work that we put into it, doing evaluation on players, part of that's key. You got to have players. I don't care. You see Coach Belichick and all these guys, if you don't have a guy, I'm not saying we're going to have a Tom Brady in our league, of course, but at the end of the day, it's still
Never know.
Yeah. Well,
the way that guy plays, maybe he will come play in San Antonio during the offseason.
Hey,
It's no thing for him.
I wouldn't put it past Tom, man. He just loves the game. He doesn't want to let go at all. So, hey, more power to him. If he can play till the wheels fall off. That's
Sure.
what they used to tell us. But, I think part of this, though, is finding some great players that's the right fit for our team and the right fit for our city. of course, I'm always in the back of my mind trying to I want some hometown guys to be a part of our roster because I think that's very important. Because from the executive side, I understood having a connection, being familiar with players, kind of that's the starting line of things. When fans come, they can at least have some type of connection with somebody that they know. He's a San Antonio kid, or he played at UTSA, or he played right up the street that's close, but I remember him back in the day when they played in the playoff game and things like that. I think that's just always going to stay in the back of my mind. So I've kind of highlighted some guys on our draft board that actually has a hometown feel. So if we get the opportunity, we look at a player and they're similar as far as talent wise, then of course I want to go with the hometown kid because I think every city should probably have that hometown feel and bring a kid home to play in front of his family and friends.
Yeah,
Good to hear.
That'll definitely help out with the excitement of the fan base and having that connection there. We as fans, we're familiar with you, Coach, as far as a player and that mindset that you're bringing here. We've seen that. We're excited about the coaching staff you've put together. We've heard about Joey Porter joining you. So we know you're putting that leadership that you're talking about in place and preparing for the draft. It's coming up November 16th and 17th, I believe. So
yep.
Right around the corner. So as an organization, as a group that you've put together here, what is your mindset as far as preparing this team? What can the city of San Antonio expect? Are you expecting to play a very physical brand of football, or are you going to kind of adjust according to what the talent that you get? What's your mindset going into that draft?
I think a little bit of both. Of course, I want to be a physical team. I think it's football, right?
Yep. Yeah.
I never really saw teams that are very finesse win a lot of games. It always comes down to being a dominant physical football team. But I think a little bit of both. I really can't say the character of our team, I think, speaks highly for me because I know that's big in San Antonio. I really want to draft guys that are going to be leaders in our community. I want to have that connection because I think if you get the character right in these guys, then everything else falls into place because they're going to do the right thing. They're going to work their butt off. They're going to, if they see something wrong or they feel like something in their game, they're going to work their tail off to go out and try to fix it. So for me, that's probably one of the hardest thing now is trying to get backgrounds on these guys, understand these guys going into the draft because we don't have like the combines to have to bring these guys to one facility. Like we're doing our research, calling high school coaches while they transfer to really try to do our due diligence as trying to get all the information we can about guys because I do want some high character guys. I do want guys that can play the game of football and do it the right way and also be leaders on and off the field. So that's something that's very dear to me. That's how I was as a player. That's how we had a lot of guys on our team that were just stand-up guys. We held each other accountable. We were great leaders in the community. We understood what we meant to our city. Those are the type of players that I'm looking for. So at the end of the day, I don't need to have the fastest guy in the world. I think that helps a little bit, but for me, I'm just looking for great football players, guys who love the game, the guys that are the first in the building and the last to leave. That's all they do. They just want to commit themselves for, in my mind, 12 games, a 12-game season because I want them to think we're going to playoffs, we're going to be in the championship game. So a 12-game season, just totally just be singularly focused just on that when they come to training camp. And that's just the mindset that we have going into this draft is finding good football players.
Well, great. So Coach, we're kind of getting to the end of the interview. So I want to do some quick fire questions.
All right. I'm ready.
Be ready. Take a deep breath.
In the hot seat.
I'm a little nervous.
Here we go. What's your favorite football movie?
Wow. I like Rudy. I don't know why. It's like Rudy comes on and it's like you've seen it so many times, but you just find yourself kind of like just engaged with Rudy. And I mean, it's just truly
you gotta love Rudy.
You gotta love Rudy, right? So every time I see it, it doesn't matter. It might be at the very end. I'll watch it. I'll catch it at the end and watch it to the end. It's kind of like the Christmas Story, right? You know how they do reruns over and
All
over.
day.
Yeah.
I can watch Rudy all day long and find something about it. It's very inspirational movie for me. And I think every time it comes on television, I find myself glued to the television watching it.
Okay. Second question. What's your top 2 songs in your playlist?
Man, I don't know if I have a top 2, but I do have Phil Collins "Into the Night." I mean,
Okay.
as a player, some guys can, I listen to rap. I listen, it's just too much sometimes for cussing. I don't need cussing. So when I get dialed in and get ready to play, people think I'm listening to some crazy stuff, but when the drums hit and that Phil Collins, when it come in, oh, I lose my mind. I totally transform into the Incredible Hulk when the drums come in on that song, man. And it's something that just stayed with me throughout my playing days, and even here, like you'll see me riding the bus and I'm listening to Phil Collins going to the stadium, and I don't see no difference when we're coming down to San Antonio. Yeah, if you want to know what I'm listening to, you see me getting off the bus, I can guarantee you it's Phil Collins "Until the Night."
Okay. Now, what was your nickname growing up?
My nickname, I had a couple. I was Mickey Mouse because I smiled.
Mickey Mouse.
Well, because I grew up a Mickey Mouse fan, right? And I
Okay.
smile all the time, and I never wore a mouthpiece. If you Google look at any pictures of me during my playing days, I don't have a damn mouthpiece in my mouth, right? One, they say, hey, you need to have a mouthpiece because it helps you with concussions, but I couldn't breathe with a mouthpiece. So for me, you'll see me in a lot of pictures probably smiling. People are like, damn, you don't even have a mouthpiece in. So I'm always smiling, playing this tough, rough game of football. And to be honest with you, I never played with a mouthpiece. You would think how crazy that is, but in the NFL and during my professional time, I never played with a mouthpiece.
Wow. Okay. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with the sign behind me, the Brahmas. So we're definitely here to support you.
Oh, I appreciate that. That was the first thing when I saw it, just popped out to me. Now, tell me a little bit about the Brahma Mama. Is that like a club full of like females that love football, or
It's all of the above. It's all of the above. And it ties in with the podcast because I do a segment called Mom to Mom. And so what I do is I interview the players' moms, and that's how the fans get to know the players. They make that connection. Gotcha. And then that's gone from mom to mom to wife to wife. So I've interviewed wives of players, wives of coaches. So just to put a little bug in your ear, if you want to ask your wife, I would love to have her on the segment from wife to wife, so we could talk about what it is to be married to a coach.
You know what? Let me put some thought into that one. That can go both ways. That could be a good thing, and then also there's some things that I don't want. Guilty pleasures I don't want out there. So
okay,
let me think about that.
Okay, and then we are going to be the first XFL female fan club, and so we're probably going to have T-shirts. We're going to have a dance contest. We're going to have a punch. We're going to have, you name it. And we're just the females fans behind the Brahmas.
And that's what's so awesome, to have like a female fan club that just supports their football team. I told you when I saw the sign, that was the first thing that stood out to me when I walked into the restaurant. And then when they said they had a podcast, I just wanted to do really just to show my love and appreciation for you guys just coming out, showing your support. So excellent. If I can do anything to try to help you guys with your podcast, I wanted to do it.
Excellent.
And it's a two-way street. We want to be there to help you. Anything you want us to promote, we're your team. We're the glue from the fans to the team.
And I think that's key, right? It's what I'm trying to establish. Like, listen, I know at the end of the day, everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to be in it. But, also, I think starting that connection with the city, I want to be as transparent as possible with the media. I know they're going to have some questions. some days you're not going to want to answer it, but I understand it. I understand that, it comes with the territory, and anything that I could do to help the city of San Antonio off the field, that's the next thing too. We're looking at some community service work that my wife and I can come down to San Antonio, be a part of, have our presence, and let them know that the Brahmas are here, and we want to do all that we can to put our hand in the pile to help a great city of San Antonio. So I can tell you that that's what I'm passionate about as a person. My wife and I, we were very prominent in Pittsburgh in the community during Thanksgiving and Christmas time. So giving back to those who are less fortunate has always been meant a great deal to me. I always walked away and felt special about being able to provide a smile and put a smile on someone's face when they're going through trying times. So, just that little 5 minute that I can take away and talk to them. And, I always get the questions about Dancing with the Stars that, for even that brief moment, when they're going through some trying times, that I can bring a smile to his face. I'm very blessed that I can provide that for our fans and for the people that we're trying to do great work for. So I just want to thank you guys for your support. Look forward to you guys cheering loudly as for our home games. And like I said, if anything that I can do to try to help, I'm there. So just let me know.
There might be people that call him Mickey Mouse, but we're going to call him Coach Ward.
Yeah.
Hines Ward, we've enjoyed spending some time with you. We're so excited for February. We can't even sit straight. We're excited for tomorrow to buy our tickets.
We're getting our tickets.
And we're certainly excited to sit down in the Alamo Dome and enjoy professional football in San Antonio again.
Can I ask you guys a question, though?
Okay, sure.
How do you feel about our uniforms? Like our logo?
Okay.
And be honest, I really want to know,
you haven't heard this yet, but we recorded a segment just before this, leading into this, and we were talking about the logo and the uniforms. What we would love to see, we talked about this and decided. So take this back to the XFL for us.
A redesign
on the helmet, the B on the skull, on the lightning skull, and then the horns, or the lightning horns coming back like the Vikings, or like the Eagles coming right off of that. If you'll do that for us, man, I think that would look amazing. I think that's the way we go.
So you're saying have the B and have the horns going back?
Yes.
Right. Sort of like the Rams, how they have it on each side.
Yeah.
So you have the horns going back and then the B right here.
I like it. I like it. I can tell you that's not it.
That's
not
it. No.
The uniforms are already out, but I can't give any hints because I don't want to get my butt rock, because I'm not a snitch. So
and he listens to this podcast, so you don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure anybody who's letting the cat out the bag, you will get noticed. Trust me. But I like your vision, though. I like what you guys are have put together. I can tell you that it's not that, but it's not that. Okay.
It's not that.
Yeah.
Something not like what we've seen before, though. Something.
Yes, it is. Yes, I've never seen this. Our helmets. No, this will be the first time ever, and that's what I like about it. They're unique.
Can't wait to see them.
I'm excited.
The logo itself is definitely unique. In the sense you asked what we thought about it, and the colors, starting to really grow on me. I know, and other people have talked to.
People say it's black and gold, but that's just a picture. It's really steel gray.
And
gray.
Yellow.
Steel gray. That's the color.
I like that color.
It's steel gray because I said, because when I saw the uniform, I'm like, oh, that looks cool. It's kind of like I got plenty of black and gold in my closet, so it goes up with me. And then they say, no, this is not black. It's steel gray. So it's kind of. You'll see it. You'll see it all come together. But I just thought, man, to be unique, and I understand all the other teams, like the Houston Roughnecks, they're already been there, done that. They already have like the same logos and stuff like that. But for us, we're like the new kids on the block. So it's like, when you always get that new kid that moves into the neighborhood, you kind of look at them like, what is he going to be like? You get people hating on him sometimes, and then you get some other people like, man, he's pretty cool. So I kind of like being that new kid on the block and just coming out and just whooping everybody's tail out on the football field. So,
and look good doing it, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's got like a badass symbol about it, right?
Yeah.
So, no, I just, I love I thought it meant with the history of the Brahma, the state of Texas. And I just thought, man, it couldn't be more fitting for San Antonio to have its own unique brand, unlike any other logo that's in the pros. Or I think probably Houston, Texas probably have their logos like is that a bull or?
Yeah, it's a bull, yeah.
It's a bull in the shape of Texas, but it doesn't really do either of those things right. So,
well, for us, I just think, having the lightning and then the bee and in San Antonio, I just thought it was a good fit. So I was excited to don the colors, and I can't wait for you guys to see the uniform. But I can tell you, it's not what you said.
Man, I was so excited. I thought I had it figured out.
I like the yellow because it goes with the yellow rose of Texas. So we're
definitely
mamas are going to have yellow roses of Texas. So thank you for that.
I'm learning more historical things. So yellow is a prominent color. And
yes, it's the state flower, the yellow rose of Texas. So
wow. I like it now. So, well, I can say, let you guys look. I know the Terrible Towel has its own thing, and I don't want to shy away because yellow it has a special place, of course, with the Terrible Towel, but I don't want to bring that to it. I do want to have something. So next time I see you guys, please give me some suggestions so we can have something.
We'll work on it.
We will. Yeah,
we had suggested like red. Like the bull, that means charge. So
a
red towel.
I do remember that charge. I like that. But I don't want to make sure that the home team or the visitor team is wearing red. And then they're gonna be looking at us like, oh, y'all cheering for us.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, Coach,
in progress.
Coach, we understand. You've got to go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, listen, I'm all open for ideas. So I want this to be a collaboration, but I want it to have meaning behind it. So if you guys can give me some suggestions, then I'm all for it. So
how about hand gestures? 4 Ward? 4 Ward?
Yeah. So do you like the horns up or the horns? We've heard horns forward. With the forward. Is that a thing?
That is a thing, horns forward.
Okay. We love it.
That's something I think that's really what a Brahma is, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And if we win the first 4 championships in the XFL, it'll mean so much more.
It'll mean
so let's work on that.
Yeah.
Going forward.
I like
Love
it. No pressure, but I like it.
No pressure.
But I like the mindset, though.
Sure.
So I love it. But like I said, man, I appreciate you guys for having me on. And then, like I said, anything that I can do to help you guys out and come up with some creative ideas. So next time I see you guys, man, I'm going to make it a collaboration with our fan base and our team.
Yep.
So I'm all for that. So
he's Hines Ward. He's the new head coach of the San Antonio Brahmas, and he's going to be hanging out here in San Antonio and winning 4 championships. You heard it here first. So we're going to win the first 4 championships in the XFL with Coach Hines Ward. Thanks, Coach, for hanging out with us. We appreciate your time.
All right. No problem. Anytime, guys. Appreciate it.
Bye.